Xu Jingming's gorgeous campus belle cousin never expected that her trash little cousin would actually score first place in the national exam. Not only are recruiters from the top 3 universities fighting tooth and nail over him, but he even secured a $1 million scholarship from their school, all because right before the exams he unexpectedly awakened the S-rank ability, Purple Heaven Divine Thunder. And the best part? It can eventually evolve into the ultimate SSS rank Chaos Divine Thunder. In a tense classroom at Jiangcheng No. 2 High School, a chalkboard announces just 1 day left until the unified exam. The class teacher, Chen Fan, gives final instructions. He tells students taking the liberal arts exam to prepare the IR stationery, and gives a more serious reminder to those taking the martial arts exam to prepare the IR combat gear and weapons. Teacher Chen Fan then warns about the deadly risk of the martial arts college entrance exam. He strongly advises any student with an awakened ability below D level not to take it. From his seat, a student named Xu Jingming smirks, feeling the teacher's warning is directed at him. He thinks to himself that he has transmigrated into this world, called Blue Star. It is technologically similar to his old one, but it is also inhabited by ferocious, bloodthirsty beasts. To counter this, some humans have awakened superpowers. In this world, people can awaken various abilities at age 16, which are rated on a scale from F to S. However, the majority of people only awaken skills between F and D. As he considers his own power, a small flash of lightning appears. He reveals that his ability is an E-grade weak electricity, and he notes with disappointment that its power is only comparable to a simple stun baton. As Xu Jingming reflects, a blonde-haired classmate, Huang Tian, taps on his desk. He mockingly asks if Xu Jingming still plans to take the martial arts exam, calling him E-grade trash, who would only shame the school. Huang Tian suggests Xu Jingming should just choose liberal arts and offers him a future as a small clerk in his company. Before Xu Jingming can answer, a female classmate, Lin Qingli, stands up and tells Huang Tian to mind his own business. Annoyed, Huang Tian scoffs at her and promises to show her who is best during the exam. As he walks away, he glances back and adds a cruel remark, predicting Xu Jingming will die on the exam grounds. After Huang Tian leaves, Lin Qingli turns to Xu Jingming with concern. She advises him to ignore Huang Tian's words and suggests that switching to liberal arts might not be a bad option. Xu Jingming listens to her silently, his expression unreadable. Lost in thought, Xu Jingming looks at his Great Xia Unified Exam Registration Form. The form lists his E-level elemental ability. In the Great Xia Kingdom, education is split into liberal arts and martial arts. Those with low-level abilities can choose liberal arts for an ordinary life. The martial arts path is far more dangerous. Students must enter a designated area and fight fierce beasts to the death to pass. Only by surviving can one hope to enter an ability user university. There, with years of training, even an unranked person can become a truly powerful ability user. Xu Jingming understands why his teacher and Lin Qingli are worried. He knows they fear what might happen if he takes the exam. However, he also recognizes that he cannot escape the constant threat of the beasts. This thought triggers a painful memory of a beast tide from his past, where he knelt as a child crying over the lifeless bodies of his parents. The memory strengthens his resolve. He doesn't want to be powerless again. With determination, he holds up his registration form and firmly declares that he will still choose the martial arts exam. As the sun sets, Xu Jingming is in a training hall, practicing relentlessly with a long spear. He channels his electrical ability into the weapon, causing blue lightning to crackle along its length. With a cry, he executes a powerful swing. The intense training quickly leaves him drained. He lets out a large yawn, complaining about how tired he is, and then collapses onto the floor, his spear falling beside him. Lying on the ground, Xu Jingming thinks about his training. He has been practicing with the spear for 2.5 years. Despite his efforts, his proficiency is still at a beginner level. He bought a spear technique called Lightning Gale Break for 300,000, which he believes makes him a little stronger than other ordinary E-class awakened ones. As he lies there, a grim thought crosses his mind. He knows the death rate for students below D class in the exam is increasing every year. This thought strengthens his resolve. To get into an awakened university, he must be prepared to fight with everything he has. He pushes himself up and approaches a machine, clenching his fist. As his hand nears the machine's panel, a blue holographic interface suddenly materializes, displaying "System Activating." Xu Jingming's eyes widen in shock as he tries to comprehend what is happening. The system's activation finishes, and a new message asks if he wants to claim the newbie gift package. Still on the floor, he realizes this could be the legendary cheat system for transmigrators. His shock turns into excitement. A wide grin spreads across his face as he wonders what the gift package contains. The system immediately reveals the contents: an S-rank super ability and 200 ability points. He is momentarily speechless. An S-rank ability is exceedingly rare. In a major country like Manhua, a person with one is instantly recruited by top universities and cultivated into a powerhouse. Xu Jingming is stunned by his unbelievable fortune. The revelation fills him with hope. He realizes that even though he was born as E-rank trash, this system gives him a chance to change his destiny. With a determined grin, he reaches out his hand, crackling with his old weak electricity, and says, "Claim," accepting the gift without hesitation. Immediately, 3 system windows appear. The newbie gift package is claimed, 200 ability points are credited, and the system begins distributing his new S-rank ability, Purple Cloud, Thunder, God's Lightning. The power surges directly into his heart. The process is incredibly painful. An immense power erupts from within him as violent purple lightning surges through his body, tearing his shirt. A progress bar appears, slowly climbing as the energy explodes outwards, shattering the interior of the room. The blast is so powerful it blows out the apartment window. The commotion is noticed on the street below. A woman points up at the strange energy, and her child asks what is happening. A young man frantically makes a phone call, urging someone to call the fire department for the Xu family's child. Inside, Xu Jingming writhes in agony as the integration continues past 50%. On the streets, people look up as the sky turns dark and ominous. Above the apartment, a colossal dragon formed of crackling blue lightning materializes. The event attracts powerful individuals. A man in a high-rise wonders if a powerful beast is invading. Elsewhere, a military commander orders Jiang Cheng's 3rd Legion to high alert. Back at the apartment, the lightning dragon swirls in the sky before diving back down, funneling its immense energy into Xu Jingming's body. Xu Jingming lets out a final scream as the system's progress bar jumps to 100%. The light and pain fade, replaced by a simple message: ability transformation complete. The overwhelming energy subsides, leaving Xu Jingming in his devastated training room. He slowly clenches his fist, feeling the immense power he now commands. Potent blue and purple electricity crackles around his hand. A confident grin spreads across his face. He recognizes this S-rank ability is on a completely different level. He thinks his old ability was like an electric baton, but this new power feels strong enough to shatter a person with one strike. His excitement is lessened as he sees the destruction. The windows are shattered and the walls are cracked. He thinks the commotion was a bit too large and feels relieved he managed to control some of the energy. He then remembers the other part of his reward: 200 ability points. He wonders aloud what they are for as he touches the system interface. The system explains that ability points are obtained by killing fierce beasts and can be used to increase his levels and skills. A mischievous grin returns to his face. He expresses his delight at the simple cheat system and tells it to open the system panel. A detailed status screen appears, displaying his new profile, his name, his level as an unranked awakened, his new S-rank ability, Purple Heaven Divine Thunder, and his 200 available ability points. With the unified exam just 1 day away, Xu Jingming's eyes glow. He knows he must use these 200 points wisely to maximize his combat power. Lightning crackles around his hand as he tells the system to allocate the points for him. Xu Jingming decides to use his points logically, reasoning that all abilities come from the human body and spirit. He chooses to strengthen these 2 attributes first. As the system processes the points, his stats for physique and spirit quickly increase. A surge of dark purple energy erupts and swirls around him. He looks slightly dazed, marveling at the feeling of his vital energy and thoughts being enhanced. Clenching his fist, he feels the new power inside him. He throws a test punch, and a vortex of blue and purple lightning explodes from his fist, a display of power far beyond what he could do before. He looks at his hand, surrounded by crackling energy, and understands that by raising his basic attributes, his control over his combat skills and powers will also be stronger. The system panel confirms the upgrade, showing his physique is now 141 and his spirit is 160. It explains that each ability point was equal to 0.2 units of vital energy, or spirit energy. A confident grin spreads across his face. He believes that with his current strength, getting into an Awakener university will be easy, but he wonders how he now compares to the other 700,000 candidates in the province, especially the geniuses trained since childhood. Deciding to find out, he kicks his spear up from the rubble on the floor. As he catches it and slings it over his shoulder, he resolves to go to the martial arts hall to test his new power levels. As he prepares to leave, his apartment door is suddenly kicked open. A team of 3 firefighters bursts in, ready to fight a fire, leaving Xu Jingming stunned. The lead firefighter, looking confused by the lack of a fire, explains they received a call about a fire at this location. Standing in the wrecked room, Xu Jingming calmly explains that the commotion was caused by his ability training, and that everything is now fine. The lead firefighter accepts the explanation, knowing that incidents with awakened individuals are common. He radios his team to fall back. As he leaves, he looks back at Xu Jingming with admiration, thinking how formidable the younger generation is to cause such a commotion just by practicing. Shortly after, the fire truck drives away. As Xu Jingming, now in his school uniform and carrying his spear, walks down the street, a neighbor he calls Uncle Yang asks if he is okay after the fire. Xu Jingming reassures him everything is under control. Noticing the spear, the neighbor praises him for being so diligent, practicing even with the exam the next day. The story then explains that martial arts halls are important in this world. To advance, an awakened person must train their physique and spirit. The halls provide training grounds, which are essential since not every family can afford a private training room. The 2 most famous martial arts hall chains are Thunder and Brutal Bear. Xu Jingming arrives at the Thunder Martial Arts Hall. The narration explains that the Brutal Bear Hall is expensive, mainly for students from rich families. The Thunder Hall, however, is free for all high school students, making it very popular. Inside the busy hall, Xu Jingming sees a familiar face in a group of students. The girl, with long black hair and red eyes, is Tang Qi, his cousin. He approaches her and asks why she is at the Thunder Hall. Surprised to see him, Tang Qi replies that she just came with a friend. Xu Jingming politely excuses himself, telling Tang Qi and her friends to continue their visit while he heads to the training room. As he walks away, Tang Qi watches him, thinking he seems a bit different. Her cheerful friend, Xiaoya, is immediately taken by Xu Jingming's appearance, calling him handsome and asking Tang Qi who he is. Tang Xi explains he is her cousin, Xu Jingming, also a third-year student taking the martial arts exam tomorrow. Xiaoya swoons, saying he would make a great boyfriend. A male friend teases her for falling in love, and she enthusiastically agrees. Hearing this, Tang Qi decides to bring her friend back to reality. She reveals that Xu Jingming's awakened ability is only E rank. The news shatters Xiaoya's fantasy, and she cries out what a pity it is. The male friend smirks, commenting that it's commendable for someone with an E-rank ability to take the martial arts exam. Tang Qi, however, looks worried, saying courage is meaningless when the risk is so high. Changing the subject, Tang Qi reminds the group they are there to visit the hall. Xiaoya agrees, mentioning she's spent all of high school at the expensive Brutal Bear Hall and suggests relaxing before the big exam is a good idea. Meanwhile, Xu Jingming finds an empty training room. He stands before a large, round target with his spear. As he grips it, he notices it feels much lighter. He realizes the spear hasn't changed. His own body has become much stronger. He considers that this old weapon might not be suitable anymore, but with the exam tomorrow, there's no time to find a new one. He decides to first test his peak physical strength without his lightning ability. He takes a deep breath, tightens his grip, and thrusts the spear forward. The weapon slams into the center of the target with incredible force. The strike leaves a spiderweb of cracks in the advanced training target. A digital display above it flashes the number 321. The room's equipment is made from a special memory metal, allowing it to automatically repair itself. Xu Jingming is astonished. His pure physical strength has doubled. He knows the strongest output for a normal, unranked awakened is only around 100 calories, making his base strength exceptional. Satisfied, he decides to try his new S-rank ability. His eyes glow blue as he prepares to channel the purple heaven's divine thunder. Arcs of purple and blue lightning crackle around his body. With a powerful leap, he brings his spear down on the target, creating a massive explosion of electrical energy. He looks up at the new reading, an incredible 3,021 calories. Xu Jingming is thrilled by how powerful his S-rank ability is. The standard for a first-tier awakened is only 1,000 calories. The fact that he, still unranked, can unleash an attack comparable to a mid-tier first-tier awakened shows his new potential. But he isn't done. With lightning still crackling around him, he declares that this is not his limit. He decides to use his true killer move, a technique stacking his enhanced strength, his ability, and his combat skills into one strike. He channels all his energy into the spear, which becomes covered in intense purple lightning. He swings the spear in a wide arc. As the spearhead nears the target, the lightning condenses into a single, bright sphere of power. With a fierce cry of "Break!" he unleashes the attack. The spear connects, resulting in a massive explosion of purple energy that completely engulfs the target. The force of the attack sends a shockwave through the entire martial arts hall. In the main stadium, students are shaken, with one crying out, wondering if it was an earthquake. On the training room floor, Tang Chi, Xiaoya, and their friends are thrown off balance. The male friend recognizes the powerful energy fluctuations, stating they are on the level of a true awakener. They wonder if a new awakener-level high school student has just appeared since all the known ones train at the other hall. Driven by curiosity, Tang Chi says they should go see. The group follows the trail of energy down the corridor. As they turn a corner, they come face to face with Xu Jingming, who is leaving the area with his spearhead now wrapped in a cloth. Tang Chi calls out to him, surprised to see him there. Xu Jingming calmly says he is heading home to prepare for the exam, giving no hint of the power he just used. His friend wishes him luck but dismissively tells the group to forget him, pointing to the training room Xu Jingming just left, saying the energy came from there. The group approaches the door. Peeking inside, they see a scene of total devastation. The advanced memory metal target has been completely destroyed, and the reinforced wall behind it is a massive crater of rubble. The entire room is a wreck. Tang Chi, Xiaoya, and the others can only stare in pure shock, unable to comprehend the level of destructive power that was just unleashed in a high school training room. Staring at the destruction, Xiaoya exclaims that even the advanced memory metal was blasted through, which would require an incredibly intense attack. She wonders if any high school student in their city of Jiangcheng is actually that powerful. The brown-haired male friend dismisses the idea. Touching the crater's edge, he says the residual energy feels too violent for a high school student. He theorizes it was a powerful second-order ability user who mistakenly entered the student-level floor. Another friend agrees, adding that even a genius from the provincial capital couldn't do this, making it impossible for such a person to be in their small city. Xiaoya, however, suggests a different theory. She points out that the only person they saw nearby was Xu Jingming and excitedly suggests he might be a hidden super genius. Her friends ridicule the idea, with one asking if she's been reading too many novels. The other points out that Xu Jingming is a known E-class user who would be lucky to have an attack strength of 300. Her friend offers a more logical explanation, suggesting the powerful user simply left through the other corridor. He then turns to Tang Chi, who has been silent, and asks for her opinion. Tang Chi simply answers, "Maybe," stepping forward to inspect the damage. As she runs her hand along the shattered wall, she notices the impact marks look like they were left by a long spear. The image of her cousin with his spear flashes in her mind. A deep suspicion forms, and she silently wonders if Xu Jingming taking the martial arts exam is really him overestimating his abilities. The next day is clear and bright, the day of the martial arts exam. Dozens of buses arrive at a massive, fortified venue, dropping off students armed with various weapons. Among them is Xu Jingming, walking with a calm and confident stride, his spear on his shoulder. The students gather by a tall fence, looking into the exam grounds with a mix of awe and terror. One student complains nervously, recalling that past exams had much weaker beasts. The consensus is that this year's exam will be incredibly difficult. As the students share their fears, an arrogant voice cuts through the crowd. A long-haired young man with a large sword scoffs at their cowardice. He declares that anyone who can't deal with a unicorn rhinoceros is useless, leaving the other students speechless. Nearby, Xu Jingming's best friend, Liu Ji, asks who the arrogant guy is. Xu Jingming identifies him as Zhou Mingyang. Liu Ji explains that Zhou Mingyang is a well-known genius with a B-class ability who has already advanced to become a first-order ability user, a rare feat for a high school student. Xu Jingming looks at the prodigy with a confident smile and a competitive glint in his eye, silently wondering who is stronger. Suddenly, a loud voice calls for the candidate's attention. A stern-looking man with a scar, dressed in a military-style uniform, introduces himself as Wang Haiyang, the chief commander of the exam. He says that before the exam begins, he will review the important precautions. Standing on a military vehicle, Commander Wang Haiyang announces the exam will last 12 hours, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. He gestures to the vast, ruined town that serves as the exam venue. He explains that it is divided into 4 zones: outer, central, inner, and core. Students earn points by killing beasts, with the score increasing based on the beast's rank and strength. The commander's expression turns grave as he gives his final warning. He says the core area is like a bonus question, meant only for the top students. He urges everyone to act according to their abilities and not foolishly risk their lives for a higher score. Listening to the commander, Xu Jingming reflects on his own abilities. Before his power-up, he would have been limited to the outer area, but now, filled with power and ambition, he is determined to charge deep into the inner circle, and perhaps even challenge the core area. An announcement is made for students to get their exam supplies. Xu Jingming and his friend approach their teacher, Chen Fan, who is handing out tactical backpacks. Xu Jingming receives his pack, which contains a smartwatch for tracking points, a backpack with energy bars, a drink, and a medical kit, and a safety ball that can create a high-voltage grid to ward off beasts. As teacher Chen Fan hands Xu Jingming his supplies, he offers one last piece of advice. He reminds Xu Jingming that his life is more important than anything, even if using the safety ball ends the exam early. Xu Jingming respectfully thanks his teacher. Just then, a familiar voice calls his name. He turns to see his classmate, Lin Qingli, running towards him. She kindly offers him a spot on her team. With her is their class president, Liu Qin, a C-class user who says he will protect Xu Jingming in the exam hall. However, another student objects, arguing that the exam is a serious competition. He complains that taking on an E-rank student like Xu Jingming will hurt their chances of getting a high score. Another teammate angrily agrees, accusing Liu Qin of changing their plan. The two objectors make it clear they don't want to be saddled with a burden. The insults infuriate Xu Jingming's friend, Liu Ji, but Xu Jingming calmly holds him back. With a polite smile, Xu Jingming declines the offer. He tells Liu Qin and Lin Qingli that he appreciates their kindness, but plans to go in alone. A concerned Lin Qingli reluctantly accepts his decision, urging him to be careful. The student who had complained smirks and suggests they go find the powerful Huang Tian to team up with instead, letting out a mocking laugh as they walk away. Xu Jingming watches them go with a confident smirk of his own, thinking that he is more than capable of getting a high score by himself. An announcement rings out, declaring the official start of the exam. A fleet of drones swarms into the sky, ready to live broadcast the event. The massive gates open, and a flood of students charges into the ruined city, shouting their goals. Among the crowd are Tang Qi and her friends, a determined-looking girl with a large sword, and the top contender, Zhou Mingyang, who uses his wind ability to leap ahead of the pack. In contrast, Xu Jingming remains calm. He takes a single step, then breaks into a steady run, his spear in hand, thinking that the exam has finally arrived and he is ready. As he runs, he taps his smartwatch. A holographic screen confirms his identity and displays the real-time rankings. The top 3 spots are already filled, with Zhou Mingyang in first place with 7 points, followed by 2 other students. Xu Jingming looks at the leaderboard with a confident smirk. He notes that Zhou Mingyang has already started killing beasts, but the early lead only fuels his own competitive spirit. While others fight in the outer sections, Xu Jingming decides on a bolder strategy. He resolves to waste no time and head straight for the high-risk, high-reward core area. As he moves deeper into the ruined city, he suddenly stops. Ahead, he discovers a gruesome scene: the lifeless body of another student in a pool of blood. Beside the body is an unused green safety ball, showing how fast the attack must have been. Xu Jingming is disturbed by the sight. He realizes the student didn't even have a chance to activate his last defense. The grim reality of the exam hits him, and he understands the weight behind his teacher's and the commander's warnings. He thinks that if he hadn't received his S-class ability yesterday, he could have easily ended up in the same state. Steeling his resolve, he accepts the brutal nature of the exam. He kneels beside the fallen student and uses the boy's smartwatch to call for the body to be retrieved. He reflects that opportunities always come with risks. Suddenly, he hears a noise nearby. From the shadows of a ruined building, a large clawed paw silently appears. A moment later, a ferocious shadow cat with glowing purple eyes emerges. Xu Jingming instantly realizes the horrifying truth. The beasts had left the dead student as bait. It's a trap, and the beast lunges towards him. Despite the shadow cat's terrifying lunge, Xu Jingming remains perfectly calm. The beast growls menacingly as it pounces with incredible speed, its shadowy claws extended. But Xu Jingming is even faster. With a fluid, casual movement, he sidesteps the attack, letting the beast fly past him. The shadow cat lands gracefully, its glowing purple eyes locked on its prey. Its reputation is well earned. With an agile body, sharp claws, and a bite force of over 1,000 kilograms, it is a deserved newbie killer. It lets out a ferocious roar, trying to intimidate Xu Jingming. As he faces the beast, Xu Jingming thinks about what makes these creatures so dangerous. He knows fierce beasts have a special, terrifying aura that can paralyze their prey with fear. He's heard that most awakened people, when facing a fierce beast for the first time, become helpless under this pressure, unable to use even 30% of their strength as they wait to be killed. He thinks about how wealthy families hire bodyguards to take their children into the wilderness, to get them used to this aura from a young age, a privilege he never had. Knowing this is his first true battle against a fierce beast, he readies his spear as the shadow cat lunges at him again. The beast closes the distance instantly, its mouth wide open, but Xu Jingming stands his ground, completely unaffected. Arcs of purple lightning crackle along his spear as he channels his power. In a single, swift motion, he thrusts the spear forward, the lightning-infused tip piercing through the shadow cat's head and killing it instantly. He looks down at the dead creature with a thoughtful expression. He realizes the beast's intimidating aura had no effect on him. A moment later, a blue holographic window appears from his smartwatch, confirming the kill. Killed one unranked fierce beast, a shadow cat. Ability points, +3. A note explains that fierce beasts are ranked from 1 to 9, and those below rank 1 are unranked, corresponding to unranked human awakened people. Xu Jingming looks at the map of the venue on his watch. He considers that killing beasts grants him ability points, but he seems unimpressed by the small reward, thinking that unranked beasts give far too few points. Realizing he is unaffected by the intimidating aura of fierce beasts, Xu Jingming concludes there is little point wasting time in the outer area. He resolves to get to the more dangerous central area as quickly as possible. He begins his journey deeper into the exam venue, cutting a bloody path through the unranked beasts. He effortlessly kills shadow cats, iron-furred pigs, and wolf-like creatures, gaining a steady 3 to 5 ability points with each kill. However, he identifies a flaw in his approach. While he has gained ability points, he recognizes that he lacks actual combat experience. His new S-rank ability is so overwhelmingly powerful that it kills unranked beasts instantly, preventing him from honing his fighting skills. He also considers the high energy cost of his new power. He knows higher-ranked abilities consume more energy. Unlike his old E-rank ability that could last for hours, he can't maintain his S-rank power at full strength for even an hour. With the exam lasting 12 hours, he understands he cannot waste energy before reaching the core area. He decides on a new strategy. He will kill fierce beasts using only his spear technique to gain experience and conserve power. Just as he makes this decision, a new, much larger threat appears, a formidable bipedal unicorn rhinoceros. The massive beast roars and charges, tossing a wrecked car aside with its immense strength. Instead of retreating, Xu Jingming stands his ground and faces the charge head-on. The powerful impact of the rhino's horn sends him flying backward. With incredible agility, Xu Jingming uses the momentum to flip himself in mid-air, positioning himself directly above the beast. Before the rhino can react, he dives down, landing on its back and plunging his spear deep into its skull with a single, precise strike. The massive beast collapses, defeated. Breathing slightly, Xu Jingming is surprised by how much faster his killing speed has become, noting that even a powerful beast like the rhinoceros wasn't much of a challenge. A thought strikes him, and he wonders if his spear technique broke through to a higher level without him realizing it. He summons his system panel, which confirms his suspicion. His spear technique has leveled up to the intermediate stage, and his ability points have risen to 256. He concludes that relying on his spear technique is the most effective way to boost his strength. Feeling how fluid the intermediate technique is, he wonders what would happen if he improved it further. Using his accumulated points, he decides to upgrade his spear skill again. The effect is instant. A massive influx of advanced spear techniques and complex movements floods his mind, integrating into his muscle memory. He clutches his head, amazed by the sheer volume of skill he just acquired. With a wealth of new techniques, Xu Jingming feels a surge of confidence. Gripping his spear, he stands tall amidst the ruins with a predatory smile. He declares that he can't wait to find a first-rank, fierce beast to test his new skills on. At the same time, in another part of the outer area, Lin Qingli and her team are moving through the streets. Suddenly, Lin Qingli stops, puzzled. In the distance, she thought she saw a familiar silhouette. She voices her thought, saying she thinks she just saw Xu Jingming. One of her teammates dismisses the idea, asking if she's seeing things. He argues it couldn't be Xu Jingming, as it would be suicide for someone with his E-rank strength to be this deep into the exam zone. Lin Qingli is filled with doubt, but can't shake the feeling that she saw her classmate. She begins to worry about him. Her thoughts are interrupted when another teammate calls them over. The group rushes to find him standing before the massive, freshly killed corpse of the unicorn rhinoceros. They see that the blood on its wounds isn't dry, meaning it was killed just minutes ago. They examine the fatal injury, a clean, penetrating wound to the head made by a long-handled weapon. One of them exclaims that it's a spear wound. The pieces click together in Lin Qingli's mind. The spear wound, the timing, and the silhouette all point to one conclusion. She wonders aloud if the person she saw could really have been Xu Jingming. The skeptical teammate scoffs at the suggestion, arguing that a unicorn rhinoceros is a beast that only a C-rank awakened person could defeat alone. To settle the argument, another teammate suggests they check the score rank.